want to do, which I don't understand, but whatever.
Yay, Denver.
Yeah, everything she has is completely, but that also means that I've seen motherfuckers like smoke a cigarette in the alley and pick herbs from against the building. And like, I'm sure they're legit herbs, but I've also seen people piss in that alley. So the thing about the Merc is all the food you get there is either the most amazingly delicious thing you've ever had, and you can't believe that this is so good, or you're like, what the fuck is this what hardtack is? Is this what, like, with like piss herbs? Like, it's bizarre. So it's really,
You never know. It's just a fucking crapshoot. I got there on a good week. I did. My last feature at the Merc was on a good week. So I had the elk nachos. They were delicious. They were definitely fucking decadent though. Like, it'd be like saying like, how about some like cobra nachos or something? Like this is not an animal we should be wasting on nachos.
Right.
You know, the bear meat nachos or something. It just was gross. But I realized that in between, like, it's funny because essentially right now we're beginning to venture into like whose city, like whose small overlooked liberal ass city is best. Because we have like Denver, like, well, like Anchorage is talking shit on New York pizza. Like, so we got Anchorage representing and Portland. You have Denver, at least New Haven, and where else have you lived, Jen?
Mm-hmm. Just New York, Denver, and Waterbury, but like so.
Waterbury, yeah.
Connecticut, New York City, Denver.
Waterbury doesn't really count. It's not like a woke place. So yeah, but then me in Northampton, Massachusetts, which is basically, for those of you who don't know, the Boulder of the East, but not Asheville, like smaller. So that's really the Boulder of the East. But and then like what, Washington D.C., Oakland, and Albuquerque. We got a lot of liberals talking shit on who's got the better pizza, is all I'm saying. I heard that Anchorage has the most coffee bars of any city in the U.S. Apparently, Anchorage just is like dotted with little coffee kiosks everywhere. Espresso specifically.
I do know it also has the highest rates of sexual violence in the United States. So, like, just let it have the pizza.
You're not selling it anymore.
It just needs a wing. Give it the pizza.
Your excuse is that like Fairbanks is more like meth and what was the other thing you said?
Oh, mosquitoes.
Meth and mosquitoes, right? So like, yeah, like Anchorage may have the highest domestic abuse rate of any place in America, but on the plus side, it's not Fairbanks, which is just meth and mosquitoes. We're like fewer mosquitoes and less meth, but more wife beating. On balance, though,
Anchorage is complex. There is more to do.
I believe it. All good port cities are.
Mm-hmm. Christian, where's your favorite place you ever lived? You've lived in a lot of places.
Ooh.
Like far as the city itself, not necessarily.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I lived in a piano factory and like in the woods and in hippie communes. I kept doing them. I mean, does it have to be a city?
No. Where's your favorite place you ever lived? So what I mean is like the place itself, not like your life experience when you lived there.
Oh, that is hard. I do miss Albuquerque a lot. And honestly, I wish I were like a true native of Boston, because Boston sucks for outsiders and it's great for insiders. Philly apparently is like that too. Or like, well, like there's a reason Bostonians are so arrogant, is because like they figured out this complex system of like, this place used to be like deer trails and Indian paths, and like then it was cow pastures, and then it just became, roads, and then now everything is insane and like you can't figure out your way around it. And somehow the Bostonians just kind of do, because they're raised that way.
And they don't get parking tickets like everyone else.
Somehow, because they understand the weird arcane rules. So basically Bostonians are like doing pretty good, like, and it's a great city to visit, but it only when you start getting practice at it. So I lived in Boston, and I think it would have been cool to have been a Bostonian, but
is the Satanic Temple in Boston, or is it in Salem?
Salem. I've been there.
That's
it was great gift shop.
Massachusetts just for that.
Yeah, I saw the Baphomet statue.
I know, right? I just want to shake.
It's in a
Lucy
shed. They just have it in a shed in the back of the house that they like unlock. Like the girl who is at the register unlocks for visitors, upon request. It's
Right,
not
yeah.
very grand.
It's no, like there's no like actual worship. It's all a part of. It's just making sure freedom of religion is
Right.
a part of like national
It's basically
conversation.
it feels
Nobody
like a
actually-
religious missile silo. Like it's like a really small scale missile silo where they're hosting like their biggest weapon, but maybe not as securely as they should. Like the whole Baphomet statue is like they're waiting to do mischief, but is otherwise just in a fucking shed that you couldn't park your car in, to be honest. Like
If you want a really wonderful evening, I suggest watching the documentary called "Hail Satan?" And it's just about the history of activism. That
God bless the Satanists. They're fantastic. I love the Satanists. I just don't have the same aesthetic, but like I dig what they do.
Anyway, it's just fun.
I was gonna say, except for that one, because there's like two.
Oh right, no, fuck Anton LaVey. We're not counting Anton LaVey.
Like,
Anton LaVey.
They tried to sue like the Sabrina, the Netflix Sabrina TV series.
The Teenage Witch, sure.
Yeah, and so
because like, they have a legit religion, and they they were creating a bad false impression of it.
No, that wasn't like the. Well, let's just say that wasn't the cool church. It was just like this offshoot that was trying to cause trouble. They were just trying to bring attention to it.
Little baby Satanist.
Yeah, and that's really not like Satanic Temple. That doesn't like they don't have energy for Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Although that show, I've watched all of it and it was garbage every second of the way, even though I watched all 4 seasons.
I've heard that.
Didn't have anything to do with the religious persecution.
Right.
Satanists.
They really shit the bed. In so many ways on that show, and ended on like the absolute worst message you possibly could, which was like romanticizing suicide.
Ooh, don't do that. I was disappointed because I thought that I love that they cast the actress from Mad Men, who was just great as a kid. Like I respect a good child actor because they're so rare. And she was really good at it.
I mean, I liked the lead. Oh yeah, I liked her because
she was one of the Draper kids.
She was terrible. The actress was great, but like the character was terrible and just this agent of chaos, and it was just, it was kind of fun to have a female teenage anti-hero. And then like also like, trans rights and all sorts of like really good like messages all the way through. So which made it even more sad when they interspersed all these really really awful messages, like you're incomplete without a boyfriend, suicide is romantic, like there's a lot of stuff they crammed into that show in subtext. So even though like the overtext was trans rights, this young female character is not letting anybody tell her what to do for good or for bad, great, but then there are all these other messages that were just really like really unfortunate.
Yeah. It sucks when it's good enough to get some cred and then it pisses it away on like a really shitty overall message.
I think like the writers, it's like one woke person was like, no, the kids like this, and then everyone else was like, okay, but we're gonna do like normal TV and insert all these damaging messages. You're incomplete without a boyfriend, but we'll make it woke. So I'll just ask someone in there. Yeah, we'll be great.
The representative from Portland/Anchorage has spoken. That was her woke diatribe.
It might as well have been a representative from Portland, for all that city is actually progressive.
Oh, she's too progressive from Portland. Let the record show. By the way, I feel like we're dominating the conversation and should get to some D&D. Not that I don't love talking with the other two of you, but shall we play? Well, now
Looks like you just scared Ish away.
Yeah, sorry. It would have sounded really
Shall
cool.
We play
Center Square.
Are any of you old enough to know what I'm talking about?
What did you say?
I beg pardon?
Shall we play a game?
Ooh, what is that from?
War Games, huh?
Yes,
Oh.
Judy Redlin. Reason number
Never saw
872. Why I adore you. Yes,
Because I watch old great movies.
totally. Matthew Broderick as a teen classic.
I know. He was so cute.
I heard that
Yeah.
that was a movie that had like real impact on like American policy, where like concerning cybersecurity. Like
Mhm.
like enough people saw it that it like actually kind of it changed the Overton window or whatever on like we could like hack, maybe hackers are real. So like it was kind of a cool, I don't know, I've never seen the movie, but I know it was like a precursor to the
So it
greatest movie
wasn't
of the 90s,
hackers. It was
which is
that
Hackers.
It was artificial intelligence.
it was artificial intelligence. It
Oh,
wasn't that
maybe that was
hackers
it.
were dangerous. It was that
Mm.
if the computer gained enough intelligence, it could start a nuclear war.
Oh, so it's like Skynet. Not what I thought it was. Is it Skynet?
And it was definitely during the like anti-nuke era of the mid 80s, early to mid 80s. So it was like, yeah, it was, I mean, it was, sorry to be the English teacher. It was like the Frankenstein of it, you know, like we always talk about the monsters we created, and it was definitely the artificial intelligence could start nuclear war. Like,
Yeah, and the whole nuclear war was avoided by teaching the computer to play tic-tac-toe against itself.
Mhm.
Whoa, that is a Martha of an ending. That's that some screenwriter that took balls, like teaching it to play tic-tac-toe against itself. Just say like, what's the square root of 0 and just walk away, you know,
It
while
was
it explodes
ingenious,
behind you in
though.
slow-mo.
It was ingenious because the computer had to learn that sometimes no one wins.
Hmm.
And that's why it couldn't do the thermonuclear.
Weird. Okay. That's a lesson well learned. I'm glad that the evil robot that was going to kill the world also had a character arc. We saw growth. It learned that sometimes no one wins, and that's a lot for you know, Skynet. Does it have an awesome synth soundtrack? A synth heavy soundtrack?
Yes. How's Winnie? She's so cute.
This is Winden. She's good.
Oh,
need some time.
Nora, I could not figure out what you were doing.
She's
That's
good.
really
She met the dog or saw the dog today. My roommate has a part-time dog, and
Like a shared custody dog?
What?
it's exactly
Yeah, what's
what
a
it
part-time
is.
dog?
That's what it
A
is.
part-time dog. Wait, does
Shared
that, if you
custody.
lose a kid in a divorce, does it become your part-time kid? Is that, can you call it that?
Yeah, I think so.
Your timeshare kid.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh. Good thing the kids don't know what timeshares are.
And with luck, they never will.
Yeah, but she did pretty good. No fights. No one hunted the other one. There was a little spat at the end, but it was like a warning. She just arched her back. Dog ran away. Everything was fine.
Excellent.
Good.
Yeah,
All's well that
Be
ends
part
well.
of team building. Oh.
that's right.
All right. Are we all set? Am I okay to give the recap? I know that Jen does not have a recap, but we knew that was because we're kind of in this wacky landing a plane as we're building it kind of mode of ending the school year, as most of you know.
So
But-
after this week, like I'm not going to do one this week either, and then I will get back to everything.
Totally. We're good. So last week we did have quite a bit that happened. I can recap it rather quickly, but it was relatively eventful. You started to traverse the city of Magnamar, take in its grandeur and its kind of garbage state at the same time. 1 second.
It's like waiting at a street corner in Magnamar.
I was
waiting with
about
traffic
to-
device.
Yeah, sorry.
Waiting for the street lights in Magnamar to come on. Walk signal. Okay, go ahead.
I was about to have to yell at my roommates, but anyways. Okay, so you are kind of going through the streets of Magnamar. You took in the grandeur. Everything was great and gross at the same time. You were able to spot 2 shadowy figures that were following you that revealed themselves to be actual shadows. after some tense negotiations and kind of trying to figure out what they were, you were able to corner them in an alley, and through Winna's amazing ability to speak with just about anything, discern that they were actually undead creatures that were created from a ritual sacrifice. Those creatures sacrificed still retained some of their personality and revealed themselves to be basically street thugs, gang members, people who had been kind of lower level toughs in kind of part of the neighborhood that had, at least one of them had in the past known Kalhiri and showed her kind of like the street gang insignia ring that was like the last thing that he had to mark his previous life. And through a little bit more questioning, you realize that they had been killed and ritually created into these shadows by a mysterious figure known as Desdemona Knox. And she's mysterious as though she is, she was kind of a mid-level crime lord, crime boss kind of type in the past, not especially successful, but all of a sudden seems to be some kind of a dangerous and up and coming crime boss who has been conducting a number of different high level crimes. With a little bit more of the investigation into what has happened, you all were able to find the warehouse that apparently belonged to Desdemona, where she was loading a ship with an unbelievable amount of drugs that were going to the Western empires. And after a lot of shape-shifting shenanigans, you were able to both find out where she went because she left the warehouse and what was inside, so that you could go inside, proceed to set the place on fire, and fight a number of different hired muscle that were basically there to take care of you. With the combination of the fire and your amazing ability to whoop ass, you were able to either make them flee or get rid of most of these creatures. You did fight a very powerful Dullahan, which is just a kind of headless, powerful creature, and defeat it with a pretty amazing skill. And once that all was done, in fact, I want to say that was more or less where we ended. You were kind of walking away from the warehouse, trying to figure out your next steps, potentially going to confront Desdemona at her vast estate, when Ronaki, who had gotten tipsy a little bit earlier, said something very disturbing in the voice of Zoliad, the being who inhabits the Runeheart. And did I miss anything? Is anyone thinking like, oh, there was this one thing that I wanted you to mention?
Yeah. Can we go over what Rift saw when Rift became a falcon and followed some of those like goons out to like a second location?
Yeah, so Rift was a peregrine falcon, if I remember, followed Desdemona as she took a carriage out to her estate, and it basically like kind of followed the winding path through the city out to a vast manor that is kind of ensconced in a nice little kind of you know how when you get someone who's like super rich, they can live in the heart of New York and somehow they've got like a big 40-acre, estate that's got like trees and shit like that. That's kind of what she's got going on. Even though she lives in the heart of the city, that's like vast, yes. This vast kind of like wilderness manor that's like, it takes like 15 minutes to get from the gate to her house.
Hashtag girl boss.
But didn't you see, and she kind of is, didn't you see or hear something significant there? Was there anything that like the goons said when they got there? I feel like I'm forgetting something that the goons were talking about that was going to lead to something like, okay, so now we know where Desdemona lives. Did we get any more information?
I recall. Go ahead.
No, you.
I was just going to say, I recall that there were goons in the warehouse that Winna had overheard, and they were saying some stuff.
Oh, maybe I'm confusing those two things. Okay. Yeah, what are the goons that Winna heard say?
To be completely honest, I forgot what they said.
Okay.
I think they were just
Phew.
saying that they needed
I thought I
to
just made a
kill
faux
all of
pas.
us.
I think they just said
Oh.
that they're gonna wipe us out.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forget-
So I thought we got more information about the future. That's all. Just classic thug talk.
No, I pretty much just wanted to get a bead on her location and then book it back
Okay.
to you guys because I was the healer. I did peek in through the windows and just to like see if I could capture anything interesting, and like nothing really came of that. I like saw an interior. Like I don't think we like unveiled anything there.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. So it's kind of a weird, tense moment to open up on, where Kalhiri was regarded by Ronaki in this very strange way. Kalhiri, I left that on the cliffhanger. What is your reaction to that?
But what exactly did he say? It was like,
Like, it's so nice to see you in your actual form or something like that.
So if I recall, the words that he said were, your essence is even more elegant in person.
oh, so because we know that it's
Don't use that.
Like
his-
we've never heard that before. Guy.
we know it's like, what's his name? Zolati?
Zolia.
No, say that to his face. Say that to it. Make sure he knows that you don't know his name anymore. The power move.
right?
What's your name? Zohiri? Zoltar the Magnificent?
Well, she's definitely in her street smart kind of thing. So, eyebrows would be raised like, and I don't think she'd necessarily reply, but she would, I'm sorry, I keep talking about her in the third person. I'm like, excuse me? And I kind of indicate definitely at least to Rift and Finzor and well, to everybody, but definitely Rift and Finzor, who've been kind of on this whole thing. Like, pay attention, and it's solely, this is not Ronaki.
So it's kind of like the moment is waiting for you. What would do you say something? Do you have like a look on your face?
Well, that's just, like, I'm gonna say, excuse me.
Oh, so okay, sorry, I missed that.
I'm gonna back others over and be like, this is not Ronaki. This is the Runeheart demon talking.
So
Could be an angel.
he, like, Ronaki from before this started happening was kind of like, a little bit tipsy, and so just kind of like takes a quick moment and just kind of like, he literally shakes his head and says, what did I say? And back to being Ronaki voice.
Renaki, do you drink coffee? You know what? Never mind. Where's the nearest coffee shop?
There's
get you some.
one.
Didn't Duratan remember what he said more or less? I thought Duratan just said it back to us. What did he say last?
No, I was saying what Zoliad was. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Sorry. You said that it's nice to see us in our actual essence, or something along that line.
Well, he was talking to Kalhiri because he spoke to her when she touched the heart.
Yeah.
So are you
So
gonna
you went away for a little bit there, bud.
Ronaki
That's what we're trying to tell you. Like, sorry. Yeah, weren't yourself there for a minute.
I feel like I need to become more lucid. Someone said something about coffee.
Yeah, I'll go find a bucket. I'll be back.
We should all be going out to brunch.
Oh,
Magnamar for the first time. I need
That's-
coffee.
yeah.
Do you guys not need coffee? We just bought like 24 demons and burned a factory down, a drug
Is
factory.
it, yeah, is this warehouse still like
It's time for breakfast.
burning in the back while this is happening?
I
There's
suppressed
still-
the smoke with some mist. I misted it.
That's true.
It would
You-
still
you
be
did-
smoking.
Yeah. There's like a very
It can
light-
rain on a forest fire, you know.
Right. But there's like a very light fog that kind of permeates that block of the city, that kind of quarter, if you will. And it'll make for a little bit of interesting times and maybe some, enlightenment in the best of cases. But yes, you've walked away from that situation because you're not like with the fire in the background. Though you've moved a decent distance away, and there is in fact a coffee house not but a few dozen paces away. And we shall call that coffee house at the end of the world.
If you're ever in Portland, there's a place called the Bar at the End of the World.
Mhm.
Right.
It's a dive. It's terrible.
And San Francisco has a diner at the end of the world,
Oh, nice.
and Douglas Adams had a diner at the end of the universe.
Well, he would win. Yeah, I march into that coffee shop and ask for several large coffees. And then I buy them and
and one
take them out.
espresso.
We don't need to act this out.
Right. So you absolutely you get the 3 coffees with no delay.
Oh, you know what I could do? I also have, if he needs it, don't I have prepped lesser restoration? I could bring him back to a sober state by removing
Yes.
him from
Yes,
ether.
100%. That's exactly what that does.
Okay, you know what?
forgot.
I'm gonna sober up Renaki, and this will be though. Just FYI, I need to restore some spell slots after this.
I was gonna say that this is kind of my fault because I did take him out for drinks on the way, and I thought he would have a better tolerance than this, being a giant. So maybe I should be the one to use one of my healing potions. I've got one in the bag.
Sorry,
It's sort of my. So you can hold on to your fucking mana or whatever. Like
Okay,
I'll get it.
cool.
I'm gonna use my what's it called? Equipment. Potion of healing. Potion of healing greater. As an action.
Would that just be
I'm-
for health though, and not for condition afflicting him?
Oh come on, you definitely heal from a hangover, man. Like that's
No, but
He's not hungover though. He's drunk.
Well,
He's poisoned.
he's
You-
possessed.
yes. Oh, okay. So sorry, I have a potion of poison resistance. Would that be better?
Yeah.
Are we sure that it's not venom? Okay, we're gonna use the potion of poison resistance on him. That should sober him up, and I'm gonna pour that down his dumb throat.
I have an idea. What if one of the little creatures in my shard, could we potentially put the heart in one of them so Renaki doesn't get so messed up?
You could. Do you want to do that?
I don't know, team.
Small objection. You're talking about putting it in like one of your like evil monsters. You can see how that might like it's more powerful than you are. You know?
But they're a
Yeah,
shade.
but
They
then
don't
if it's
exist
still
anymore.
trapped in the shard.
Are they? Because I mean, we're talking about a talisman of great power here. I don't know that the heart isn't way more powerful than the shard magic. You know what I mean?
The whole reason we're here in this town is to go find information about this heart. Winna, brilliant. Let's keep that on the top of my minds because I love it. But let's go ask somebody who knows something about these hearts. Make sure there won't be something weird because the things in your shard are dead. They're just shades. They're reflections. So they don't have a will of their own. They're just sort of an echo. So game on. Love that.
So you're for it?
Oh yeah.
I probably
I
outnumbered.
think that's
Anyone else?
amazing.
Anyone else kind of have concerns about putting the
Well, we're gonna go get into
atomic powered talisman in a ghost?
Well, that's maybe we wait, like Rift is saying.
But it's better than having it fuck up Renaki.
I'm worried about Renaki.
But
Well,
think
one
of
of us
how
could
weak
try
a
to take
constitution
the
of like
heart.
a fake pterodactyl monster it has. You know what I mean? Like how easily corruptible is a dead pterodactyl.
I don't know the hierarchy. I don't
But
know.
if it's trapped in the blade, it can't really do anything.
speaking as the only one here with +3 Arcana. Okay, I'm just.
But the
I went to
heart
school for
has
this.
powers beyond all imagination, so I wouldn't put it past if it could bring a creature that is trapped in there back to life, and then it could get out by it on its own. That's just what I think. I don't think Ish would
Nope.
necessarily do that to us in this
Zertan's with
situation
me.
if we tried to do
Let
that.
me know. The freaking wizard is with me. Okay.
Where's the rule book on this rune heart?
Yeah, let's just
Or
go.
law.
That's what we're looking. That's why we came to the city.
And by the way, I want to point out that there is far more information to be had about the rune heart. A, if you find a library here that has information, which is almost a certainty, but B, the lead you have so far is that the Church of Shantico has a Bible. I named it something I can't remember, but that the Bible of the Church of Shantico has information about the rune heart specifically.
So
We go get it.
so can
Let's
we-
just sober Renaki up with the potion. I'm using it.
So can we say that that's a great idea and that we should find out more about the rune heart and then keep that as like that's the plan unless we find out something that tells us we shouldn't?
Put it in our back pocket. We don't just, we'll get there.
Okay.
If we need to.
I'm not 100%. Yeah, I just don't think we should do it right now. That's all.
Fair enough.
no, we're here for information. No one's doing it right now.
Right. Okay, cool.
Finzer, do you have a vote on the shard trapping?
My vote is we go learn more information.
Okie dokie.
That's right.
Excellent. So
Okay.
all of that has taken place. Ronaki is sobered up and is enjoying a nice coffee. I won't go into the details of what specific kind or will be here all night. But he seems to have developed a taste for it. He does say something to the effect of he's only read about it in books. He's never actually been in the presence of coffee. So it's kind of impressive to him in a sense. So did we get a verdict? I might have missed it on the giving the rune heart to a creature that's inside the dagger.
We're gonna go get information first.
Okay, perfect. Where will you go?
Well, there's two routes. Like there's the library, and that's been on our list since we landed, but then someone tried to kill us. So we also have to go find this bitch that murdered Kalahiri's people and and we know where she lives. So that can sit, or we can just go tie that one off right now and then go to the library. I don't know, murder library or library murder. What do you think?
I don't want her people chasing us through the streets while we try and read books. I feel like we should deal with the murderer first and then we can go to the library.
But the longer
This is the best field trip
Ronaki
ever.
has the heart, the more likely it's going to keep possessing him, type of deal.
Well, let's kill her quick.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's point.
Just
Yeah.
gotta pencil in the murder of Desdemona Knox real quick, and then if there's time, then we do brunch.
Once all the gangsters in the city are looking for vengeance, then we go to the library.
We've all had a lot of coffee. Let's just sprint.
I've created a power vacuum, so all of the
Let them squabble.
gangsters in the city will be fighting amongst themselves. They'll leave us alone.
Cool.
I like it.
So, and I just typed into the chat so everyone knows, but Shantico ex Biblis is the name of their kind of religious home. In addition to that, I was going to say you are all actually approached by a gentleman who seems to have kind of this almost ornamental armor and kind of a funny but ornate helmet. And he has his left hand kind of resting on a weapon at his side. And he prominently has he doesn't point to it, I'm pointing to emote, but he's got a prominent badge on his chest plate as he kind of walks up to you very officiously. And he says, I'm here to question you over your involvement with the fires in the warehouse. Are you the ones who were involved?
Involved with what?
No,
The
we were
fire-
just walking by
warehouse.
here.
What warehouse?
We saw the smoke. I don't know what's going on.
What fire?
Coffee?
Fish?
He takes
Fish
the
thing.
coffee without missing a beat and says, "Thank you. My name is Artanis Greywords. I am a detective of sorts, working with the constabulary. I wanted to question you. We can make this easier. We can reconvene at a later time, and you won't have the support of the constabulary. We know that this is involving some rather high-end criminal activity. We know that you're not at fault, but I do need information if you have it."
Of
Do you
course.
have can you give us information in exchange?
I would love to work in tandem with you if you are willing.
Can we do a like sincerity check? I don't remember what that's called. Like
That'd just be insight.
Insight, thank you. Left my brain for a second.
Hmm.
So far, you all have no reason to not trust him.
I mean, but not trusting doesn't mean trusting. So like I'm saying, like of course we want to help. A fire, what a terrible thing.
Yes, so I can give you any information that we have to fill in the blanks. We do know that Desdemona has become more than a nuisance. The murders that are attributed to her, if in accusation only, well, they could fill several morgues. We were hoping you'd help us and that we could help you in turn, but she has to be stopped. Officially, I am not to be calling for her head, but everyone involved would sleep better if she were no longer on this material plane.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Artanis Greywords, Sergeant.
Sergeant, can you tell us a little bit about her history here in the city? From what we knew about her, she really wasn't that big of a threat prior to a couple of years ago. Can you tell us about her rise to power?
She once was a lieutenant for another crime lord. He died under mysterious circumstances, as they tend to. We didn't think much of her. She had gone underground for some time. She reemerged some weeks ago. She began to operate her criminal empire in much the same way one would operate a cult. The loyalty of her minions is fanatical. The means by which she proceeds with her murders is ritual. There's something very deeply disturbing about what she is doing, and we need help to do so, to stop her. We cannot we cannot achieve this with our traditional means of investigation.
So you're asking us to be a street gang?
Bounty hunters.
So can we confer apart from the sergeant?
He's fine with that. Yeah, you can.
All right, so check it out, y'all. So this sounds like some of the crazy Chantico stuff that was at the Glassworks before. And so if Chantico is operating in this world again and it's through Desdemona Knox, that's a whole other level of what we need to handle. Doing it with the help of the authorities, even if we don't tell them everything, is going to be a lot easier than trying to do it surreptitiously despite them. What do you guys feel comfortable? Do you feel comfortable letting, kind of letting them let us try to kill her without telling them everything.
I'm
Yes.
cool working with the police. I'm a little bit worried if we're coming up against like a glassworks factory thing situation again. I'm worried about us carrying the bronze heart, the rune heart into that sort of situation.
Well, I don't think we'd be working with the police, just not. I mean, it sounds like he's giving us clearance for him to look the other way so we can go fuck her up.
So what's the difference from what we were already planning on doing?
Do we need her, or is this just vengeance because she tried to kill us and she sent a bunch of goons to us, or like, do we? I mean, she's got information, but like, does she have all the information we need? Do we need to force this conflict? It just seems like we're getting embroiled in a lot of stuff for people trying to keep a low.
He killed
He
Peltier.
turned my friends to shadows.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, yeah, okay, fair.
Trifling bitch, and now she's like.
I live in the woods by myself. I'm sorry, I forget what it's like to have friends.
That can't be good.
You guys are the first friends I've had in a long time. All right. So,
The one
Aw.
forgot about your shadow friends.
the one thing I will point out is that Desdemona seems to have known about you from before you got to Magnamar. So there's a
Oh, yeah,
potential
we're awesome.
her reach may extend past Magnamar. If you guys are like, let's leave Magnamar, why even bother with this? Let's go back and try and figure out what to do with this rune heart. She might be able to continue sending something after you.
All right. So if there's basically we can't afford not to kill Desdemona.
Right. We need to deal with her.
I'm in. You have
So
my bull.
Lena has a good point. Like, what's the difference if we work with the police or not? I just think that if we're already on the police's radar, it's easier to just sort of feign allegiance rather than try to do like add the layer of having to conceal it from them.
They're gonna pin it on us anyway, one way or another. So we might as well get whatever information we can out of the police. And then we might as well just murder her because she sent shadows after us. And so I had to skip at least 3 really good looking patisseries in order to go set a warehouse on fire. Like, guys, I haven't been able to say this big in a minute, and this is what I'm doing with it. No, like let's go get her. And then
we go to the
police
library.
will probably come after us, and then we'll just go read a book and get out of here. I don't know.
No one's gonna look in the library. Why would anyone assume someone hangs out in the library? You know, like these thugs don't even think of that place. They just block it off, and the library is invisible to them. Illiterate motherfuckers.
We can't send the pig to the library. But what's Duratan's genie doing?
It just chills in the.
Maybe time for it to start pulling its weight, eh?
Can she?
Not until I level up. I can't do anything with her coming out.
Okay, we are on now
far
on
as I
mission
know.
to get him leveled up.
So we can't like send a library book into the bottle so that Jeannie has something to do? No.
I mean, oh yeah, we could. We could do that, but at that point might as well just send me into the bottle, and then I could do that while you guys just carry the ring around.
Do you want to read all session?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I think if we go, I don't know why we're trying to do both of them at the same time. Let's go kill her and then go read some books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking somebody clear a path through the crowd. Let's just fucking charge the place.
So do you go back and kind of reconfer with Artanis?
Straight there.
We say, okay, it seems that
just
we're not at cross purposes. And we have a bone to pick with her ourselves. So can you do anything do you have information that will help us get to her?
Yes. If you wish to find her, going directly to her manor is probably ill-advised. She's well protected there. we understand that she has several supernatural defenses. We have sent some undercover agents, and all have returned, if not as undead minions, just as mincemeat. We do know that she is going to be present at a soiree later. We can gain you access to that soiree as help staff if you're interested, and you can get closer to her to achieve your goal.
Seanbeard is
you
going in a
looking at
tuxedo,
us,
my friend.
Peter?
Wait, no, I'm coming in the front door. I'm going to be your man on the inside. This is
Gray words. You
look.
don't,
Someone has to be the face, okay? And it
but
should
you
be the
don't think
gnome.
we'd attract attention? I mean, look at us.
I mean, no, I'm a gnome. I'm really good at not attracting attention. I can just go in a
You have
tuxedo and then
a
hide.
Party.
So could Winna, by the
Oh,
way.
heck,
Winna can be
you
my date.
even know what a tuxedo is.
I've heard. I read stories. I've never seen one. I hear it's you know, it's what you look like when you want to look like a king, like a what do they call it? A prom king?
So
No. This time, you know what? I'm sick of fucking stealth missions. This time, Seanbeard's going in the front door. It's Wolfpack time. Who wants to come? You guys can skulk in the shadows. Are you guys turning down a soiree?
I just feel like a tiefling, a couple of half orcs, a halfling, a gnome. I
Sea
feel
elf.
like a sea elf.
But that's
I
not
think
that's not gonna weird alert in catering. Catering that looks normal.
That's what I was gonna say. We could pose as like servants or something.
Well, I mean, that's what he's
more than
saying.
two
is that
roles.
We could be the wait staff, but like, really?
Yeah, I mean, just so you know, I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb as a wait staff. Like I'm not gonna be a good server. I'm gonna drop trays. I'm gonna like.
Nah, orcs are the half
Finzer's
orcs
the
are the best
bodyguard.
busters.
Finzer
They can carry all the food out at once.
Fucking
Or
this is
Finzor
a
could be
heist.
door
Finzor,
security.
no, someone is going in to be like the fake celebrity.
Okay,
And
so
Finzor and Duratan are gonna be the bodyguards. Okay, we gotta
Okay,
get
so
costumes for this.
so Artanis does. Artanis Desdemona knows what I look like. We're
Who
acquainted.
does she not know? Also me. But someone's got to be like the the Tony Stark type, the Bruce Wayne type, and like go in with like so much panache that they dazzle the attendees, allowing someone else to sneak in and kidnap / kill Desdemona. This is just some classic assassin shit, right? So who's going to be the face?
I'll be the Salmonier. How's that? I'll just be the fancy wine taster for the
Okay, so she'll be the sommelier for the caterers.
catering.
She's on team catering. Who else is on team catering? Not the half orcs.
So you can be not wait staff. You can, he can gain you access to the party and all that.
Mhm.
If you need any manner of disguise, they at least have a rudimentary group of magicians who can do things like disguise you magically, that they can mask your presence so that divination magic won't see you coming, and so on. But so this is what the alliance with Artanis, temporary as it may be, can offer. And he's basically saying, I'll get you near her and then you do the rest.
Okay,
Oh.
if my identity can be concealed so that she can't detect it, let's come at this bitch. Let's go.
Who are you going to be? What's
Do
your
I have
character?
any poisons?
Are you asking Artanis?
No, I'm asking myself actually. What did I make with the Black Lotus? Never
Let
wrote
me
that
see.
down.
I not have poisons. Sucks.
I think it was a recovery something. But like with my druidity and nature check, can I just collect a quick poison somewhere?
I will say yes. In fact, I will allow you to. I'll say that you can make me a survival check and find something potentially in the bay, in the bay that might be of use.
Oh yeah, I mean in the bay I could probably find like a blue ring octopus if I really wanted to. I cannot do a survival check because my other computer is upstairs. I took you guys downstairs with me for a moment.
That's okay. I'm just gonna roll a d20 for you. Why did that add 2? That's weird. Or what am I looking at? Never mind. I'm looking at something else.
You can also find like pufferfish, flow sacks. I mean,
We
Sure.
did
I
just have a
will-
warehouse full of poisonous drugs, didn't we?
every sea
I know we really
creature-
did
That's now in
not
fire.
use
but
it well.
I wonder if anyone in the party would have moral objections to that. But let's see, Rift. I will say you do find you find a species of urchin that has kind of grown up around the presence of civilization, and so it's kind of like this sludge urchin that will poison the enemy and make them like nauseous. It basically gives them food poisoning. It's not lethal, but it's definitely quick onset and will be effective at making someone too weak to, or weaker than they would be, harder for them to fight back.
Okay, I'm gonna collect it and then I roll at myself for not finding something better.
Yeah. Where's the jellyfish that gives them diarrhea?
I
Damn it.
actually,
It's never around when you no
real
one around when you
world-
need them.
in the real world, I literally read an article yesterday that dolphins have been recorded now getting high on chewing pufferfish and then they pass them to each other.
Mhm.
I mean, who hasn't?
Yeah. They hate it when that one dolphin's always bogarting the pufferfish.
How Christian and I met.
So you've got that poison. I'll say you have 3 doses worth, and that can be, put on a blade or, crossbow bolt, whatever.
Tricked into
Or
some
you can,
wine.
Or in the wine, because she's a sommelier.
yeah. that too.
Ooh, fucking like it. Now we're back to the heist. I mean, okay, so all I'm saying is someone's got to be the face. You got the 2 bodyguards, you got the sommelier, you got catering, and then you got ninja. I
And
mean,
I'm
like you call
just-
it.
If I think Winna and I mean, if you want to be the face, that's fine. Winna and I need to be concealed. But like, who would? It has to be plausible.
I think
It has to be ripped. It has to be
I
ripped.
think it'd be funny to have 2 half-orc bodyguards for a famous gnome, honestly. Like,
I'm with you there, bud. I don't have the highest charisma. All right.
That could be a
I can
gnome
cast minor
halfling
illusions, but who knows if I can fool everybody. I'm just saying, I'm also like one of the sneaky ones, whereas Rift is good at diplomacy.
well,
but
you don't
I'm
want to be
willing to try it for the sake of comedy. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Rick
Duratan.
is really bad at diplomacy. I've got zero charisma and I'm irritated by everything, which makes me a perfect sommelier.
That's true. You definitely have the attitude of sommelier.
So is Winna like? Is it going to be like a gnome halfling couple?
Ooh, you want to go with my date, Winna?
Like a Benifer kind of thing, or
Ooh.
Like-
Can you
By the
do
way, I'm
aristocratic?
sorry to go on this tangent, but you brought it up. I hate that Benifer is a thing again. like,
Let them be
what-
happy.
Wait, sure, fine. But like, why do we have to like in so many ways regress to the 90s the further from it that we get? Like, I feel like where the reality wants to snap us like a rubber band right back into 1997 and never let us go. And I'm tired of it. Let's move on. Let's just forget that the 90s happened if at all possible and just
It's
move.
because our generation has reached the stage where we're feeling nostalgia, right? So our generation is like, oh, remember the 90s? Things were so
And-
simple.
I had
and
nostalgia for when I was
Jennifer
13, when I was 18. Like,
together."
nostalgia is a thing throughout your life. You're like, you've never been
Nostalgia-
like in 3rd grade and been like, man, kindergarten was awesome. I just had to nap. Like, like it's snack time all the time. Like,
Which-
you're always nostalgic. That's not
Jennifer
an
is
excuse.
it?
Also, yeah, if it were Garner, I'd be all down for it. I would love for those 2 to get back
But
together.
it's Affleck and Lopez. But no, and that's fine. I'm all for nostalgia. I get it. I'll go for that. Like, I'm a nostalgia monster. You'll see me talking at nauseum about stupid shows from the 90s just as well as I do other stuff. But it's like reality can't let us go. It's like reality has to like reform into the 90s, and like all of these awful, crazy things keep coming back in the
Like
weirdest
D&D.
way. What's
I
that?
mean, like D&D. I mean, a
That's
game that was
fair.
mostly popular in the 70s and 80s.
That's fair.
It's back now. I mean, this is kind of a retro thing we're doing. We could be out playing kickball or pickleball or some other trendy ass thing. We are doing
Wall.
D&D, which is great, which is wonderful. We're just doing what we were told we couldn't do when we grew up, and we're like, no, fuck that. We're gonna keep doing that when we grow up. That's why we
Well,
keep
thank-
going back to the 90s, because we're just like the fuck it generation. Like, let's go get a pogo ball and a whip it, you know, like, and we're gonna have fun like we did back in the day because the world is ending.
Wolfpack.
Was that Wolfbeck or was that me? Not sure.
Wolfpack, I think you're gonna do great as the face of this party. You're just gonna be the center of a large crowd the whole time, I think.
I'm gonna be so uncomfortable. Let's do it. I need a tuxedo hat.
I'm going to, like, just in the interest of keeping things simple, because I don't want to make this like, we don't want to make this Ocean's 11 necessarily. But does anyone want to
Don't
take?
we?
Yeah, like, it depends on how granulated you want this experience to be. But what I was going to
What about
propose
Mission
is,
Impossible?
right, what I was going to propose is, you don't have to take a specific role. You don't have to say, I'm the waiter, I'm the bodyguard, I'm the whatever. You can just say, I'm at the party and I'm fulfilling like some generic role. Or if you really do want to, like, you want to do this specific thing, tell me that and then I will integrate it. Otherwise, I will just assume that you have been given a role by the local constabulary to be there and to be present.
Okay. And then we can all have our character. We can all know what we're doing. So
Yeah.
We could just be guests. Like, that's just cool
exactly
if we're just guests.
like, generic.
Oh, well, sorry about the trying to make a heist, guys. It's-
Well,
didn't
I
realize we
just
could just
need
be
to
there.
concealed. So that's fine.
What'd you say, Jen?
I said I just need to be concealed. Like, she needs to not be Calhiri because Desdemona knows me.
Mhm.
Yes.
Face
So
mask.
that's perfect. That works.
Just
I feel like maybe we just go to the party unless there's any advantage to all this shenanigans other than just the silliness of it, you know?
sorry, I really like heist movies. Let's move it along. Let's go just bust the door down. Sorry.
And it's okay. My concern was I was thinking that maybe some people were like, well, I don't want to, go into the weeds about that. But I did
Okay.
want to at least allow like maybe one or two people to have a specific role in case they wanted to say, this is how I do this and this is how we gain entry. Like maybe one person is like the maitre d' and it gets the keys and whatever. But you get what I'm saying. The soiree is that night. I will presume that you all are given a generous stipend for whatever you might want to wear or acquire for the event. Shoot, I'm blanking here. Do you want to do anything else to prepare for this whole situation? I mean, it doesn't have to be super elaborate, but do you want to like buy a thing, make sure you have a specific tool or item in hand? Do you need anything like that?
Would we get
Yes.
a short rest before this?
You can get a short rest. It's so the time frame between now and then is so far. You could, if you wanted to, get a long rest in as well. If you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna sleep now so that I can be ready for the soiree, I would allow you to do that.
Will we lose out on
Okay.
prep time? Because I think we should do a little bit of prep time. Like, someone's got to go shopping.
I'm just saying, like, someone might be willing to sacrifice their time to go shopping if other people want to.
I'm going to take a short rest, and then I'm going to go buy some weaponry, and you guys can tell me what you want and Venmo me later. Like, I need some poison darts, at least some knockout darts, and a dart gun. We have 3 poisons. We could do with other poison. What do you guys need for a infiltration job? Skeleton key, is that a thing you can get? Lockpick. Lockpick. I'm gonna put that on the list.
Yes. A skeleton key can be acquired, but it's much harder to find. It's kind of like a hard to find item.
I
We're
have
getting a
lockpick.
lockpick. Do you already have it, Calgary? Okay, great.
I think
Um,
I got my dagger.
I'm gonna need something like a slip dress and a modern suit jacket.
Nice. I mean, yes. I assume you need to tell me your dimensions so I can go rent the tuxedos.
You've seen me. Off you go.
Oh, does this rift look like you? Is that me? Oh, right. Sorry, the gnome to the elf to the gnome. Got it. I'm out. I'm gonna go spend some coin and get some blow darts and a blowgun, small, of course, my size, and we're gonna get a dress, and what else we need? That it? Really, we're good?
Good.
No other poisons, daggers, anything? Okay, cool.
We
Just
have
those
the
just those things.
So some folks are going to rest.
What can I recover with a short rest?
Let me think. And this is gonna seem no. Okay, I remember. Unfortunately, you can only recover hit points with a short rest.
Okay.
I don't believe you recover wild shapes with a short rest, but I could be wrong on that.
So we need a long rest.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
You have the time to do it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Then Rift will do it because I'm down spell slots and wild shape. So I'm gonna lie down in this nice looking gutter. Off I go.
If you are trusting enough of the constabulary, they will put you up in one of their one of the inns that they kind of have people frequent.
Is it as moist as this nice gutter though?
It can be.
She prefers the gutter for other reasons. Is there a stream running through the hotel or something?
All right. Well, I go to the hotel. I take a long rest, so I'm out for a minute.
You're probably in one of
dry.
the fancy suites where there's like the big wooden tub where normally it would be for just general tub purposes, but you probably sleep in it. This is I was gonna say this is a Daryl Hannah situation. So a number of you are going to take your rests, which is good. You'll probably want to be ready for the evening. Some of you are making some preparations. Let's see. And I just want to double check a couple of things. Finzer, did you want to do anything other than rest during this time?
Just the stuff I messaged you about.
Let's see. I missed it, but let me read it now.
Fun fact, Winna, we have 2 wild shapes per short rest.
Oh,
Or at least that's what I'm looking. I'm looking at features and traits of wild shape here for 4th level. So cool.
sweet.
Good to know. Uses 1, 2 per short rest. Yeah.
Oh, per short rest. So that was my mistake. You can get that
Oh,
short rest,
no,
but you still want
I need spell slots, so.
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
So you all are getting ready for this major soiree, and I am incensed at the fact that I cannot find the proper map for something really cool like this, because I think that should absolutely exist and it somehow does not. So we're going to improvise, as I like to do, and you guys are going to have to make do with my wacky hand-drawn maps that look like they're done in MS Paint, but that's okay because that's how I do. Now, it gets to be about nighttime. You see that a number of the kind of well-to-do of the city are making their way towards the appointed place for the soiree. A number of very fine-looking carriages are being moved through the city by even finer-looking horses, or in some cases, even more impressive animals. In one case, an actual hippogriff with its wings kind of banded so it doesn't think to try and fly the cart off. and other extravagant and completely superfluous things where people are just showing off how much money that they have. But you arrive at the soiree. This seems to be an upscale dance hall that has been kind of commissioned for the evening. And I will say, and this is like ridiculously simplified, but we'll go with it.
So do we know what the soiree is ostensibly like? Is it a art exhibit opening? Is it a, like, what is it?
I'm going to say that it's a charity event, and it is meant on the surface to provide money for the orphans of Magmar, of which there are many. In Calhiri, you know that for a fact. But there's an especially large percent chance that this is absolutely not for orphans, that it's just they're saying that. Of course, that's, this isn't anything special or abnormal. Like these things are notoriously scam type activities, so you all are probably aware of that. And sorry, I'm going to try and populate this thing with people so that it doesn't just look like a white void. And
Are these 4 different rooms?
It is, and sorry, so I'm just let me just label this. So like this is kind of ballroom. Then we've got kind of like these private areas, and these are kind of like when
Champagne
people
rooms.
What's that?
Champagne rooms.
Yeah, yes and no. These are kind of more for wheeling and dealing. So you know that everyone who matters in Magnamar, more or less, is here. But then you've got like the upper crust who are going to be in those private rooms, wheeling and dealing, making all kinds of, crazy deals, buying and selling entire buildings worth of people, literally and figuratively, as they're just trying to get some kind of economic advantage more so than they already have, which again is ridiculous and superfluous, but that's what's happening here, which is nothing new. What Artanis has told you is that he believes that Desdemona will be in the center room, and there is already some serious security basically keeping people from entering that room, which is normal, but with the intelligence that you've been given, you know that that's where you want to be.
Awesome. Okay, so can I roll for perception to see any details from the outside that might be useful to us?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me that perception check, and I'm not going to look at it immediately because I'm trying to throw some stuff up here. So I apologize. I'm trying to just trying to get some stuff going here.
Go Wolfpack.
Ooh, somehow I'm
We're
taking it
gonna-
over.
Do we want to head right into
Okay.
the room?
Oh, my
or
bad.
Try and be more surreptitious.
So, like, if I am
Are we-
going to
are we
pretend to be a
dressed?
sommelier, I want to go survey the wines at the bar and start building relationships with the drink wait staff and house managers. So I might be heading on in just to go establish myself as the / poison the existing sommelier.
Yeah. I thought,
Go-
I thought Jackie was working tonight. Jackie's sick. I'm riffed.
Absolutely do that. And I want you to first make me a perception check to see if you can spot the sommelier. It won't be terribly different or difficult, but then also we'll call it a sleight of hand to surreptitiously poison the sommelier.
Got it.
Whew.
Is 22 okay?
Yeah, 22 is fantastic. Was that your perception check?
Yes.
You know the sommelier and you know their childhood.
We grew up together. She's fine.
It's like, oh, it's fucking, yeah, it's Rebecca from
Yeah.
college.
Our time on the pirate ship. Oh, you ended up in the vineyards
Remember
too. No shit.
Remember that? Yeah, remember that? No, there was a time before that.
Mhm.
Wolfpack,
Block Island.
just real quick, Wolfpack, you were able to spot that there seemed to be some of Desdemona's thugs hanging out just outside the building, kind of like in an alleyway. And you think it's not like they're up to anything super duper nefarious. Like if a crime lord was going to be here wheeling and dealing with the rich folk like they do, they would be hanging out. But they are hanging out up here. In fact, let me just throw some tokens on there just in case it happens to matter. And they're just kind of hanging out here, like smoking some, death sticks and kind of chewing the fat, so to speak.
Nice. I'm smoking some death sticks.
And so I'm gonna do what I do and just throw like some Gennaro people just kind of hanging around. There is a fairly decent actual dance floor here, and so there's people dancing. It's all fancy dancing, so it's nothing like nothing like you'd see in Footloose, more like you'd see on the Lawrence Welk Hour. But people are enjoying themselves. Food is being passed around. I will say that there's very likely the bar is here, and in fact I'll just label it as such. There are some fancy liquors. There's a lot of wine to be had. No mead or ale whatsoever. You think such a thing would be considered gauche at this party? They haven't discovered microbrewing, so that's kind of an issue. But it sounds like I need a sleight of hands check. If you don't have sleight of hands, please give me a dexterity check for Rift to food poison the other sommelier.
We're doing sleight of hand for Rift.
When would we see if we have that? Oh, I have sleight of hand.
Do you want to do that in Rift's stead, given that you're so much better at it?
Please.
I just imagine like 3 people in succession like bump into this Somm and just whoops. And just don't do it.
Oh.
And while Wolfpack and I created the distraction, Kalhiri just like silently tipped a little,
She just
kind of my thing.
She's standing behind this person and just very quietly like dumps the
roofie
without anyone noticing. But yeah, that's exactly more or less what happens. Exactly more or less. I think there was something I was missing that I was about to mention and I can't remember. I was just gonna say, if I'm butchering the word sommelier, I apologize. That's just the way I've heard it said.
Yo, Rift just literally butchered the sommelier, so.
Oh,
well,
God.
okay, you killed him or
just
something.
Throwing up. She's just clearing her palate.
Okay.
Vile.
I thought you.
No. This is just the food poisoning pill. She's out.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. So and
now I'm thinking about what kind of poison I got.
It works like a charm, and the maitre d' is in a huff, doesn't know what to do, and is desperate, just trying to figure out who's going to be here to tell people what wine to get. Like who's going to be.
I ignore her entirely, and I just start decanting, and act as if I was supposed to be there.
And you do it. The maitre d' just kind of lets it happen. Might have tried to approach you, but it seems to just want to leave well enough alone. And so you have the job. You are the Somm for the evening and are doing quite an amazing job of it so far.
Mm-hmm.
So you have insinuated yourself in such a way. So far you do notice, and this is everybody, this is just kind of like an obvious thing. There does seem to be a rather large gentleman. It's kind of weird. Magnamar is this big metropolitan area, and it has all manner of people. You see something, a bipedal humanoid creature you've never seen before. Stark white bone plates all over its body, wearing some kind of like almost an ornamental or ceremonial sash. But this creature is hulking and large. In Ronaki's normal form, they would be probably seeing each other eye to eye. But whatever this thing is flanked by two dog-like creatures that are also with these big bony plates. Look very similar, and they approach the middle area, the middle private room, and are allowed entry into that room.
What else is a power move is bringing your pets to a party. If they let you keep the pets at the party, you are a big shot.
Were there any markings or anything on the sash or what he was wearing?
I will say that there is a marking. If you want to give me either a history check or maybe a religion check. Durtan, you've heard of this marking before. The Palladium world that you inhabit, this is kind of like the name, that's what you call this, the world that you are in, is no stranger to what are called rifts, magical openings that have been torn into the fabric of reality and bring through them a number of creatures and objects from disparate and far planes. You've heard that there is a faction from some other world that has recently come into this world, and apparently has something to do with things like flying ships and weapons that shoot out beams of light. This seems to be something related to that.
Okay.
So I murmur to the sommelier that we have to get into that room. Someone needs to go in that room. Perhaps offer wine.
Yeah, I will just sashay right over there. I'm going to bring, they have a wine list. I'm going to bring 3 bottles. I'm going to bring an Utterdark, a Root Wheel, and a blood wine with me, because I feel like somebody who looks like they're covered in bone would like those. So I'm going to head right on over and knock on the door and see if they want me to open a bottle.
Wait, what year root wine? Like,
Root
are we talking
wheel.
76? I mean, the root wheel. What? I mean, are we talking 76 or like before 76? Because this doesn't have the same terroir.
I don't think the Forest of the Yearwood in Aglarond keep to the Gregorian calendar. So I can tell you
it's post eruption or there was a volcanic eruption. It changed the soil. It changed the grapes. That's all I'm saying. Is like, don't offer the wine before the grapes. I mean, before the volcano. The post volcanic root wheel is the best. Just a suggestion. I'm done.
By the way, does everybody see the image I shared?
Oh, hey, sailor.
No. What? Where?
That's what this.
Oh,
this
he's behind the thing. Oh, cool. He's like a lizard samurai. Krigor.
And like Kalhiri and I have the corners of our eyes like connected, Finzor knows where I'm at. Like, I'm just opening a door. I'm just gonna bring some bottles in, but like, I'm counting on you guys, right?
So
Yeah.
one of the 2 guards sees you coming, and he just says, "You're not the normal wine specialist. What are you doing here?"
I'm the better wine specialist.
Prove it.
Blood wine, root wheel. Pick one.
He picks the blood wine.
I'm sorry. He's gonna want the root wheel. Just between you, it's fine. I won't tell him. but
Post volcano.
it'll be a lot better if we just go with the root wheel.
Fine, you've proven yourself. Go on it.
Mm.
He was really just trying to see like how snooty you were going to be as a wine expert, as he puts it. And he's just like, all right, you passed the test, get on in there. So you do go in there. You notice that there's like, it's one of those kind of, private rooms that you would see at a club in modern day. So there's several tables and everyone's kind of cavorting and talking to each other. Some people bouncing from one table to the next. But you do see off in the corner, kind of brooding, somewhat unsurprisingly, is the Krigor. And then you see, let's see, did I?
Is the door open? Can Kalhiri and
I'll say
Finn
that it's open briefly. Like there's like a little moment where it's like it's open enough that someone could look in. Kalhiri, do you want to give me a perception check, see if you get a good view of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get a pretty decent look. You see the Krigor that's in there. In fact, let me make him a little bit bigger. And then you also see Desdemona in there.
And I indicate to Rift. I mean, she's gonna know. Well, Rift already knows who Desdemona is, so we're good.
Yeah.
Right.
You can indicate to me. I'm just awkwardly drinking in the corner because I don't know what to do because I'm horrible at social events.
Same.
So Kalhiri in disguise will come over and hang out with Finzer. So can
Kalhiri, if I can bug you to tell me, what is your disguise? What have you chosen?
Not a tiefling. Well, I mean, the detective offered kind of a generic, like, Magnamar dandy, like a club kid kind of thing, but like maybe in their early 30s.
I love it.
Kind of thing. So
Still into raves back then, so there's a lot of pacifiers and candy-colored necklaces. It's a great look.
Again, the 90s. But Kalhiri and Finzer, you were actually approached by a group of younger nobility and kind of the merchant class. And they kind of walk over to you and they're kind of like, can you believe all these stuffed shirts? These things are always so boring. You all seem like you have a pretty good idea of the nightlife. Like, this is kind of, a bummer. What are we even doing here? Like we could be out dancing and they're just kind of dying on the dance floor.
Well, there are some interesting things going on, but you're right. We're going to have to blow this clam bake pretty soon. Where are the hot spots in this neighborhood?
Well, if we go a couple of buildings down, there's actually something really exciting going on. As I understand, they're actually having some kind of what do they call it? It's a communal with nature. It's some kind of a new thing. Some group has come in and they've decided that they want to make Magnamar a little bit more blooming, let's call it. They say that it's too concrete, not enough green. But they say that it's some kind of a magical experience. Everyone's going to have a real good time.
What do you need to do to get in?
Not look like one of these yahoos. You're a shoo-in.
I think we got that. All right, and how long is it going tonight? And have the doors opened yet?
It's open now. I think they'll be going until the sun comes up.
Good to know. Well, thank you. Maybe we'll see you there.
So that group, they graciously bid farewell and they leave to do that. And so now they've sucked all the fun out of the room just by the essence that everyone else here is like, the stuffiest stuff shirt that you can imagine. Everyone else here is like masterpiece, like a masterpiece theater episode might be like too exciting for them. And so that's just kind of the atmosphere that's left. But in the meanwhile, Rift, you were in this room and you notice that Desdemona is talking with a group of people. She's actually got a knife in her hand that she's kind of twirling around. And she's talking to two high-profile people that she is exchanging things with. She like puts a pile of money on the table and they slide a piece of paper over to her and they're having a very spirited conversation.
I approach her with a bottle of root wheel and a decanter. I open it in the close but distant fashion of someone standing to the side of a table. Decant it. Wait for a pause in the conversation and say, Madame, this is for your guests at the moment. In the meantime, and then what I do is I actually pop a cork out of a blood wine, decant it in a different decanter, tell her this is for her later. And then I keep the other dark. I'm going to take it over to the bone plate guy later. But I'm just standing nearby, providing.
Now, are any of these poisoned?
Not yet, but the decanter is in my control. I'm nearby and I am just waiting to overhear some stuff. And then I will go ahead and poison when I feel like it.
So that all is going on. Wolfpack and Duratan, what are you all doing during this this all exchange?
Despite being very well dressed right now, I am overcome with curiosity about what those hippies are getting into in the woods, because I overheard all that stuff with my gnomish hearing. And I am going to ditch the group to go follow them, because that is my primary purpose here. I can find them, I'm pretty sure. Again, they stand out, but no, I'm going to go chase to go follow the hipsters out into the woods to see what this communing with nature thing is about. I am missing nature, man. Missing it a lot.
What about Duratan? That sounds fantastic, Wolfpack.
Duratan's gonna watch Wolfpack wander off chasing the druggies and just kind of shake his head. He's gonna lean against the wall in the ballroom and just kind of keep an eye on things and see if he sees any interesting figures.
Cool. Real quick, Wolfpack, you there seems to be kind of a rather elaborate kind of topiary building. In fact, the whole building seems to have been made out of this kind of topiary garden. There's a second and third level, stairs. Everything has been made out of this kind of plant life. And it is all as sturdy as you can imagine. You can push on it, you can jump on it, and this is as strong as the brickwork of the building next door. But up on the roof, they seem to be having some kind of a communion. And while you didn't see it from the ground floor, up on the top, they seem to have something like an aurora borealis happening, and everyone's just kind of staring up at it in awe.
I'm gonna stare at it in awe with them for a little bit, just a second, and then because I've never seen an aurora borealis. But then I really want to take a look around this circle from a hidden vantage point and see who is there, if I recognize anyone.
So you're still seeing all the same people that you had seen from the party, in addition to like some them? Other people. No, there's more. I was just saying,
but do I recognize anyone?
Let me think. In what sense would you say, like, do you recognize? Because I'm trying to think.
Like, we haven't been in town for very long, but like, I mean, I'm just gonna scan and see if I've seen anyone here before from, I don't know, the warehouse, or maybe they were a shadow at some point. I don't know. I'm just scanning real quick.
No, that makes total sense. Give me a perception check.
Sure. Oh.
You see what appears to be someone who has been identified as a rival crime lord, someone who is directly in opposition to Desdemona.
Any
That's
more
just, you
information
saw
about
like
that?
a wanted poster earlier. You
Oh,
read
okay. Cool.
Uh,
I'm out of turns. Yes.
Yeah, back to the action. So let's see. Rift, you notice that the strange alien gentleman goes over and begins talking to Desdemona. And what they're talking about seems to be very serious. They're saying something about a sacrifice later. And this alien being basically is saying something like, I'll bring them to you, but I want the remains once you're done.
Perception is not. Oh, actually, perception is okay. Can I hear more? Can I like get more details?
Very nice. So you are able to overhear their conversation and kind of fill in the gaps of the details. But basically, this gentleman who I need to give him a proper name before I just keep calling him the Krigor.
Or the gentleman.
Because I mean, I call everyone gentleman or what have you.
Yeah. Bring the sacrificial remains to me, said the gentleman.
We'll call him Urklor, and you've overheard his name now that they've been in conversation. But Urklor basically says,
Can I do that?
I'm changing his name.
Deeper voice, though. You don't do that.
His name is now Meblek. But Meblek,
I got nothing,
Meblek-
so go for it.
Meblek basically says something to the effect of he has gone out and captured a number of undesirables and is going to deliver them to Desdemona for the purpose of her sacrificing them. She's going to turn them into shadows, and then he gets what's left over in terms of their corpses. For what purpose, you're not sure. And why he would even bother with that, you're not entirely certain. You think maybe this is like an exchange that he's like, I'll give you this resource so that you can then pay me back in some other form, but you're not catching what the terms of the deal are quite yet.
Do I get a where in terms of like the delivery of sacrificial units are?
Apparently it's going to be happening in the alley pretty soon.
Behind the ballroom?
Very close to the bar, yes, where these two thugs are just kind of hanging out.
Rad.
Ooh, we got
All
muscle. We got people hanging out against a wall. You don't have to go yourself. Look how much. We got so many people so bored. I want
Brilliant.
to go to get in a fight in the alley.
So what I do is I go ahead and for Meblek, I introduce him to Utterdark because I have a feeling he would like it. So I know what I'm about. And so because it's so strong and he's not exactly my target at the moment, I do not try to slip anything into his. However, I do have the decanter for Miss Knox. And so I'm going to go ahead and slip something into either the decanter or my glass and fill her glass.
All right. Now, are you going for the food poisoning, or are you going for something else?
I think the only thing I have on me is food poisoning, but all I have to do is let Kalhiri know that someone's yakking in a bathroom, and like I'm not worried about what happens next.
So you're specifically poisoning the one for Desdemona, is that correct?
Desdemona specific.
Cool. So you do that, and she drains it. She's very undelicate about how she drinks her wine. She's not like taking sips. She drains the whole thing like right in one go.
Yeah,
and you're waiting with a little bit of anticipation, and nothing happens.
Nuts. Well, I have more wine to get and develop, so I head back to the bar to reconvene.
Okay. All right, so I'm presuming now Finzer, Winna, and Kalhiri can kind of get together. Durtan too and just get together, and Rift can disseminate what has happened, and just y'all can figure out how you want to proceed from there.
Sacrifices, Allie, vomit potion didn't work. Also, if you like a good sort of leathery, spicy wine, may I recommend this Red Dragon Crush that we have here.
But really only
Duratan
56
will
or
take
before.
a glass of the wine.
Oh, for Duratan, I'm thinking
like Duratan's
fire
just, you know.
wine. Let me tell you about some fire wine Duratan. It's crafted in the old empires. It's really dark, it's really thick. And oh, it even is rumored to have some medicinal properties. Anyway, so here's a glass. Off we go.
I love it.
So I really don't like the idea of these people getting waylaid in the alley here.
Nope, I don't like any of this. I do think that there's something to be said for the commune with nature party, because we know that drugs are at the center of what Desdemona is doing. And that looks like that's going to be a place where the things are going through, but that may be filtered down just to the little people. It may not be the moving and shaking of it, but there's got to be someone controlling what's going into that event. But I'm a lot more concerned about these sacrifices immediately. And I don't know, we've got to stop it. Rift just kind of raised an eyebrow and poured something in Desdemona's drink, but I'm not seeing anything going on.
I mean, she seems very nonplussed. She's just kind of going on as if nothing happened. She enjoys the wine. She really likes the flavor.
No, I'm so
It was
good
a
at what I
good pick.
do. So I pour a glass of Cerulean Glowfire for Winna, and yeah, it's a luminescent wine, literally, fresh taste. And then, so yeah, guys, no, I literally dosed her with sea urchin vomit potion and like nothing. Took out the last sommelier, and you know they drink poison for a living. So anyone else got some poison? They could try again.
She's definitely being supported by something other.
I could knife her, but there's this bone plate guy. I could get him drunker.
You could.
Hang tight.
Maybe you just get them really all of them wasted in that room, and then we can
You might have to give that guy the what did I cut? Meblek. You're gonna have to give Meblek like the wine laced with lead.
We don't have that at the bar, but
It's not in season.
yeah. What is the strongest bathtub poison that they're gonna serve at a fancy ass?
There isn't anything like that. However, if you wanted to bribe a barback to go to the party that's happening, you can probably get something that will absolutely work.
Oh hell yeah. All right. I already had my eye on barback Josh. Hey Josh, kid. Here's I got half a gold piece for you. Got the other half when you get back. And go get me something strong. Something real, bucket size. Just, you know, there's a party, here you go. See a short guy, make sure he's not dead, otherwise let him go. And then yeah, bring it back real fast.
Yeah, so he goes and comes back with a jug of something like is it wormwood? No, what am I thinking? What's the hallucinogen? Well,
Yeah,
basically
Absinthe.
has the wormwood whatever in it.
yeah. But yeah, basically he comes back with like absinthe. And he's like really happy to do it. And he's just like, hey, here you go. Come on. What are we gonna have an after party? This is sounding kind of fun.
Oh yeah, Josh, we're gonna have an after party. All right, so I take the jug and head off to the private ballroom with another bottle of whatever. A nice fortified wine for our good friend. Something called Carf.
I like it. In the intervening time, and Kalhiri, you're there to kind of witness this. Desdemona brings out a book, and you see it is apparently a copy of the Shantico Ex Libris.
We want that.
Absolutely.
She is discussing something with Meblek in regards to the book and kind of pointing to things in there.
We need some kind of disturbance so I can snatch that book.
I'm good at being awkward and clumsy. Would you like me to stumble in, pretend I'm drunk, and like spill things on people?
We could stage a fight with each other since we're not supposed to know each other.
Ooh, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got to get.
Now you guys want to come up with a heist plan. Jesus Christ. Now that I'm no longer there.
Desdemona and Meblek up from the actual table, though, so I can swipe the book.
So Finzer, tell me, what are you thinking about making an entrance into the private room?
Yeah, I'm just conferencing though with the rest of my crew out here, saying, okay, what would be the best way to get them up and out of the table? Do you think like if we just like go in and be rude drunk people, or if we like have a fight, tumble in there, or knock them over? Like, what do you want to do, Winna?
I think
So
Wait,
I
I
need to-
thought we were in the private room. Are we not?
Well, hold on, but wait, what was your thought? I want to hear what you were about to say.
Well, I do like this idea of tumbling in. However, how does a halfling and a half orc tumble anywhere?
So if I can propose an idea, yes, you all are outside of the private room. However, one thing that Finzer knows after having been at the party and hearing, apparently Meblek has been challenging people to arm wrestling contests, and none of the people here have been really interested. The second thing to consider is that if he went in there with like these two big giant alien dog things, maybe Winna could turn into something and be like, oh, hey, and now I'm coming in with my big giant pet.
Oh, I like that. So I'm Jenny's pet, right? Is that what you're saying? I'm turning into it.
That would be the idea.
And then you
So sad
challenge
I'm missing
to an
this.
arm wrestle. I think that's great.
All
Finzer,
right, let's do
Um,
it.
Wolfpack, you could have been brought back by the barback.
Oh, I mean, if they fetched for me, but I didn't tell anyone where I was going. So I'm like next door at the
Okay.
watching the cult do the How About the Moon or whatever it is. As
Yeah,
far as I know, I'm still doing reconnaissance. I know nothing about what's going on back there.
I was gonna say maybe he took the bottle of absinthe that you were gonna try and drink, and so now you're chasing him because you're like, oh, I was gonna have some of that.
I did tell the barback to look out for a very short person and see if they were a little off, and then
I'm the only one in the city. That's kind of racist. Like,
you are very small, and I'm not.
I might not be the only gnome. I don't. Wait, whatever. Fine. Okay.
So
I don't want to be the only gnome in the city.
let's see. So it sounds like we're gonna go with this plan. Finzer and Winna, you're gonna kind of barge in. And the guards are kind of like gonna try and say something, but you're just too quick to bust in. And Meblek takes one look at you, Finzer, and stands up like very, very suddenly and points and says, "You," and then like puts his hand on the table just
So I look at him and I say, "You!" And then I go arm wrestle him.
all it's making is like
yes,
the pre-wrestling smack talk.
Yeah, that's about as much as we want to do.
Yeah.
2 words.
We're like
So-
we're people of action.
You're not
This
gonna
is-
call him a jabroni or anything. You're not gonna.
This is gonna be a best of
You want a piece of
3.
me?
So I need you to roll 3. Well, we'll do them in succession, but go ahead and roll an athletics check.
Hey.
So you've got a good strong initial outing. So you've got him kind of on the ropes. Let's see what your next one is. Oh, he's recovered pretty fully. It's not a definitive, but now he's kind of coming back. Go ahead and make your third one. Okay, fantastic. So you've got, it's just this tussle back and forth. So now we've had, it's like 2 for 2. The next one could win it. Does anyone want to be does anyone want to interfere? Does anyone want to like try and influence the outcome? I don't know. Maybe you don't.
I mean, I'm gonna plunk the jug of hallucinogenic moonshine that I acquired just for him down on the table next to him, but I'm gonna look like I'm bored about it. So I'm just gonna set it down as, you know, and then I'm wandering off to decant my next bottle of wine for Nox, who, if I can't poison, I can at least get so drunk she can't speak.
Okay, so Finzer, Meblek, without breaking eye contact, grabs the jug and like takes the cork out with his teeth and like takes a big slug of it and then puts it down as if to challenge you, like while you're still arm wrestling.
You have to drink it now.
All right, so
He challenged you.
I think
What
you
are
have
you
to
gonna
drink
do?
it.
Rift,
Yeah, you're
Finzor,
in his house, man.
Finzor, do
Drink-
I
drink-
know that you're not like super into drinking? Like, as like, have we traveled together and that's like a thing I might know about you?
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna bustle over and look offended and horrified that he drank out of the jug. I'm gonna take the jug away and I'm
Okay.
gonna go get a clean glass, and I'm doing it with such disdain and
Mhm,
judgment. No one's gonna question me.
sure. And so are you just gonna bring like a glass of water? Is that what your plan is?
No, I'm gonna bring him a glass of jug juice next. Like, it's just, it wasn't supposed to be drank out of the jug. You plebeian. You
Yeah,
absolute.
but can you bring
You
me
Philistine.
a glass of water that I can chug?
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah. Hopefully Rift thinks of that and does the same.
And the proper glass. I mean, like, not out
Oh
of the
yeah,
jug
but
is
like
one thing,
in
but like
a
a white
proper-
wine glass for no,
No,
absolutely
you're
not.
not gonna put bathtub in a white
Might
wine
as
glass.
well put it in a beer
It
mug or
goes
fucking a
in
water
a
bottle.
tulip glass, you absolute lunatics. Ugh, all right,
Thank you.
so bring back
There's really
to
only one answer to this.
So
Real-
with that ruse having successfully been played out, he's going to make his final attempt to beat you with disadvantage. And so go ahead and make your athletics check.
Ugh.
He get a 20?
No, so disadvantage. So I'm saying he got a 19 and a 1. We take the 1.
Ooh.
So Finzer, you succeed with a resounding thud that shakes the entire building just goes silent as everyone now is like invested in all of this.
But we're in our little private room.
But they've opened the doors because now everybody is like, whoa, what's going on? The benefit of that is that Desdemona has in fact been inebriated. Everyone's kind of focused on that. Kalhiri, this might be your perfect opportunity. You're going to get one chance. I need a stealth and I need a sleight of hands so that you can basically saunter over there, grab the book, and be on your way.
So while Kahiri is doing that, though, I'm gonna like smack both of my hands down on the table, and then I'm gonna point again at him and go, "You!"
Because of that action, Kalhiri, I'll give you advantage on that sleight of hands check.
So what does that mean? I can do it again.
Roll again for sleight of hands. Desdemona, so she doesn't notice you. You sneak over and away very quickly and quietly, but she notices very quickly that the book is gone. Like it wasn't so smooth that she's not paying attention and won't notice till later. Like she's like, the book is gone, and she stands up and she starts barking orders at people, basically saying something to the effect of, do not let anyone leave until I get that book back. Back! This den of thieves is not going to be tolerated. I'll slit every one of their necks until I find it. And so there's a number of people who kind of show up from out in the shadows to like close doors and, you know, secure everything. You think that there are now about a dozen guards just making sure that nobody leaves, people are being searched and so on. You have not been immediately suspected of the thievery yet, but you think it's only a matter of time before you are noticed with this book, which by the way is extra large, unless you have a keen plan for getting the heck out of here.
Did Kalhiri get out of that room, or is she still in there?
I'll say she's out of the room.
Okay.
And
Because you can
hand it
give
off
me the
Duratan
book.
to put in the bottle.
Yeah, that's something that I could go into the bottle, and then you could carry the ring around until things calm
So
down.
explain to me again why then I would have to carry the ring. Why can't the ring and the book fit in the bottle?
Oh, the ring is the ring is the
The-
thing. That's the connection to the genie. So he goes
Yes,
into
but
the ring.
Genie lives
like,
in the ring, yeah.
like Barbara Eden would go into the bottle, to make an antiquated reference.
Okay, so yeah, Kalhiri is confident that she can carry the ring.
Cool.
What is Ronaki doing?
Oh, I forgot entirely about Ronaki. So Ronaki is making a very concerted effort to not drink. But I will say he's very likely being questioned by some of the nobility because he is taller than an orc and just kind of stands out and is very kind of not a party person. And so they're just kind of like, they're asking him like the awkward questions that you would imagine someone to be like, oh, where are you from? No, where are you from? And just, you know, all kinds of ridiculousness. And so he's just not used to anyone talking to him. And so he's just kind of answering them at face value. And so they're all enjoying talking to this person who just seems like he's from another world, so to speak.
Okay, so we've successfully deposited the book. Now I've got the ring.
And Duradan in the palm of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Duratan's not in the ring, right? He's just.
No, I have to go into, yeah, so I'm gonna stay in there until I hear something that tells me to come out. Because I can hear everything around me inside of it.
Oh, okay. I got you, literally. I got you. Well, then I'm going to head over towards Ronaki
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of make sure he's all right. Like,
He's fine, but he uses that opportunity to peel away from this group. He's just kind of like, I don't know why they keep asking me questions and why they're so amused with every answer I give.
Okay,
so
so we gotta come up
any
with a
of your,
plan on how to sneak
McGregor's-
out.
What's that?
We gotta come up with a plan on how to sneak out.
I mean, none of us has the book, so
Well, we do have the book.
in a ring, they're not gonna
Like
find
there's no effective way for them to be able to find that you have the book. So you could wait it out. But I don't know that you really want to suffer through the interrogations that Desdemona's men will put everyone through.
So yeah, if we can, like, so I'm gonna come up to Ronaki and kind of murmur at him that, like, okay, so look, I just grabbed something that's really important. We need to get out of here. So if any of your McGregor stuff can provide some cover so we can sneak out, now would be a good time. We can, you know, act like we're heading to the nature commune Burning Man next door. But
That cool.
you know, we kind of got to get out of here.
Cool. So let me see McGregor stuff. Let me just double check something here. We'll just say that this is Ronaki's token in his disguised form. Let me check. That being said, because I'm forgetting if he has some kind of trump card, as if you will, that would in fact help with the situation. Interesting. Let's see. He can make everyone invisible. It's going to take a while, but he can.
Like our whole party?
Yep.
What will it cost him to do that?
He can just do it. That's a thing he can do.
Let's do it. Are we gonna leave Rift in place?
I'm
That's
happy
what
to
we do.
stick around and hear more info, if possible. Because there's this whole situation in the alley that I don't know enough about, and I'd like you guys invisible and out there, but like, I can always follow you. I mean, who's gonna stop me?
That's what we figure.
Yeah.
All right, so
So-
where is everybody? So Wolfpack is at the Burning Man.
Or at this point, no, I got brought back by your intern.
So you're here with us where? Like with us?
Looks like by the bar.
Okay. So me and Ronaki and Finzer all got like are out of the room, and in here, where's Winna?
I think I turned into an animal, and then I think I
Yeah, Windows
Wait,
by
what
my
kind of
side.
Okay, so can we all kind of in this commotion where Desdemona is calling all the guards and stuff, can we kind of snuggle a little? Can we all get near each other? And Renaki says that he can turn us invisible. So we just need to let Rift know what's going on, and we're going to go investigate both the alley and the party. Is that cool, or any suggestions, or?
good plan.
So one by one, Ronaki starts turning everyone invisible, himself included. I think with the exception of Rift, who is going to continue to eavesdrop. But at one point, one of the thugs comes in and opens the door, kind of not thinking terribly well, leaves it open and goes over. Rift, you hear him basically go over and talk to Desdemona, and he says, shipment's been delayed. And when that is said, Meblek just slams his fists on the table, and just, you think this is not a very patient man thing. And he just says, the deal's off. We'll have to do this another day. And he starts stalking off, and she's angry, but she doesn't know how to tell him to not leave because he's a hulking brute of a being. And so she's just really very frustrated. And you think you might want to get away from her because she seems like the kind of person that would take it out on whoever is closest to her.
I grab the jug and a tulip glass, and I follow him. In order to it looking like I'm here to serve him more alcohol on his way out.
Yeah, he stops for just a moment and he says, servant girl, what are you offering me? He's angry and gruff, but he's kind of like accepting that you're going to give him something.
I hold up the jug and say, it's a party, sir. I figured that this libation would be more suited to someone of your constitution than the wine.
Very well. And he carefully takes it and drinks it. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
little more.
just
So you're just pouring it, and yeah, he's drinking.
I'm just letting this right out. I'm just
So-
interested to see what happens next. I want to know if he can get drunk, because he looks like he's made of bone, and this is new.
Him having a liver.
Right. It takes much longer than you might have expected, but it does happen. And he's drained about half of it before he finally starts getting tipsy. But he looks like he's done. and is going to stalk off unless you try and do anything to influence him otherwise. Meanwhile, when that guard came in, it was the perfect time. You all can leave that through that door if you want.
Yep.
So you kind of, okay.
Yeah.
And the so Meblek is going to go out the main doors, and he pushes past Desdemona's guards like he doesn't care, and he's like wobbling down the street at this point as he leaves. So I don't know if anyone wants to stay. Desdemona herself is actually pretty tipsy as well, but it depends on what you want to do. It looks like no shipment of sacrifice type people. There's still the party going on next to a few doors down. You could follow Meblek if you wanted to, or you could do what Artanis had asked you to and try and figure out how to assassinate Desdemona. Still a pretty tricky proposition.
At least she's drunk.
Yeah, I mean, we really want to kill her. I'm furious with her, not only for what she did to my friends, because I think she is a trifling bitch, and because now she's doing drug stuff, which I have no tolerance for. So I say we take this opportunity while she's vulnerable to try and take her out. Can I,
What race is Desdemona?
She seems human.
I'm in. Down for murder. Let's do it. I just need to get this out of my system.
So this is going to be delicate, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. But Desdemona bursts out of that private room, and she seems very angry. Her book has been stolen. The deal for the time being seems to have been delayed, if not soured. And she's angry. She takes one of her daggers and sinks it into the neck of one of her guards. Like, this is just her angrily just lashing out. And she yells at everyone else to leave. She tells like all of the party guests, and they're like, fine, we're out of here. They pile out of there like when the parents come home in the 90s party movie, and everyone just kind of jumping out windows and stuff. But eventually the ballroom is empty, and you find her basically drinking what's left of the wine that had been left for her in the middle of the ballroom, and she's just pacing angrily and just trying to figure out what to do next. Though one of her guards has been summarily executed, there are still a number of the rest of them. Let me go ahead and kind of empty this ballroom to kind of set the scene. And a question I have is, do you want to... Let's see, I'm going to just move Krigor out here. He's somewhere, but don't worry about his placement. Do you want to have this combat tonight, or do we want to wait for another time so that it can be kind of done more thoroughly? Because I feel like if we start now, this could potentially last up to an hour, and I don't want to necessarily keep y'all. But if you're up for it, I am too.
Can I suggest a third path, which
What's
is
that?
We plan for the fight now, like decide who's going after whom and all that, and then we write it down, and then we remind ourselves next time.
I'm completely okay with that.
And what do other people think?
yeah, I mean, I don't think we should overplan, but like,
No.
yeah,
Just who's going where and anything special.
sure.
I'm not going to be able to plan. I'm exhausted. So you guys can tell me what to do, but I woke up way before my bedtime. Or
Yeah,
before my
we
wake up
had-
time this morning.
We did have to be at Red Rocks like super early this morning.
Oh, okay.
Tiffany, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm like, I can't focus right now.
Well,
But
Okay.
I'm happy to be commanded. If someone wants to make a plan,
Yeah.
I'll just like carry on.
No, let's do it next week. Let's do it next
And,
week. 'Cause you guys clearly, I'm sympathetic.
the South teacher contingent, we should all be much more well rested starting next week,
Yeah.
right?
Okie dokie.
Like,
And that was why I proposed the idea in such a way. So hopefully that will work for everyone. I think this is a good setup in terms of like, this is a really cool set piece of like the Desdemona is angry. She's got her guards around her, and you can potentially just swoop in for the kill.
Outside, did we dip out that door? Are we?
Yeah, I'll say everybody is just kind of hanging out here. And in fact, I'll delete these guys. We'll say those guys are these guys. But yeah, let me just kind of move.
So who saw that she's freaking out, and how do we? I'm just being a pain in the ass. How do we plausibly know to come back and fuck her up?
Only Rift remained back as far as I know. And so Rift might have figured out a way to say, hey, now's the time. I'm guessing. I don't know. Rift could even have been one of the people fleeing because Desdemona said to everybody to get the hell out.
So Rift can run out and tell us and we all go back in.
Yeah.
And we're invisible.
Yes. And I would presume that Rift knows that.
I saw it. Yeah, actually, what I would like to do, and so we can go to bed, but what I would like to do is hold the door open for the fleeing guests like a good host.
Ooh, I like that.
And just sort of like, you know, and then, but unflappable wine merchant.
I like it.
So that'll be my, but
Feel good.
next week.
So there we go. I'm sorry, Kalhiri, were you going to say something else?
Just it's on like Donkey Kong.
So there we go. Just to kind of give my spiel, that concludes the game. It's kind of a cliffhanger, but not one of my patented cliffhangers, but that's okay. So we end this session now. We've got really a real doozy of a game set up for next time. Thank you for putting up with my weird, wacky weirdness with all of this kind of like improvised ballroom heist murder. And
Awesome.
I'm very sorry if
you apologizing for that? That was the part we did.
We did this to you.
But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Please come back and watch me play Castlevania 4 on Thursday. Come back and watch us play our inaugural game of Dungeons and Dragons, The Cursed Fen of the Old Kingdoms next week. It's going to be really awesome. And yeah, the stream is now over.